Hey, Son here. Today we're gonna break down the main riff for He-Man Woman Hater by Extreme, and the original recording is in the half step down in E flat. My guitar right now is tuned to original. Is tuned to standard, so it's half step higher than the original recording. There's a reason for that. The reason why I want to use regular tuning, because most guitars are regular tuning, so it's easier for you to dial in with what I'm doing. And the second thing is that I think to learn the riff, it's such a fast riff. If you go half step down, the strings start floppy. It gets a little floppier, and it's harder to play. So I think that it's good to start with standard tuning. And once you get the riff down, and then you can drop it down to half step and then practice on that. But like I say, once you drop half step down, the strings start getting a little loose. It's going to be harder to play fast because the strings are a lot more floppier. So that's why I'm using standard tuning in this guitar. So let's get started. Let's cover the riff, the main riff. Okay, let's talk about measure one of this main riff. The most important thing is that once you get down to the 4th fret on the G string when you bend up, when you get to that part, you have to be downstroke on that string to get that harmonic sound, and that's the way it should be. So to get to that point, you have to figure out your pattern, how you alternate pick in order to get to that last note is down. So that's the important thing. The second thing is that the first measure, there's 2 ways to play it. One way to play is like the recording, which is slightly different than how Nuno plays it now. I've seen how Nuno plays the lick, and his index finger stays on the A chord right here, and his fingers are moving the middle fingers and the ring finger. So I know that that's where the position is. But if I listen to the recording, it's slightly different, and I'll tell you why. Just a minute. So the way that Nuno plays it, he plays like this. What I'm doing is I play the A chord, and then downstroke on the 3rd fret on the A string, and hammer on to 4th fret on the A. Now when you're doing that gives you a finger time. That gives you a picking hand to have time to go down to the next string and pick upward on the open D string. So it goes like this. So it's down on the 3rd fret on the A, hammer on the 4th fret, and upstroke on the open D string. So that's 3 notes. 3 notes grouped together. Alright. So okay, the next one. Now once you go upstroke, the next one is alternate picking. So it's down, up, down on the A string, 4, 3, and open. So again, that's 3 notes, right? So far with this. The next one, 4, 3, open E string. But this time by the time you finish on the A string is downstroke. So you gotta go upstroke on the 4th fret on the E string, down on the 3rd, open E string. Now, the last note you notice that is upstroke on the low E string, so your hand is ready to go downstroke on the next one, which brings us to 4th fret on the G string and bend up. You get a harmonic on the 4th fret and bend up full half step. And then you play a D and G string together on the 2nd fret. So the whole lick slowly goes like this. So it goes open A chord down, 3rd fret on the A, down stroke, hammer on the 4th fret, open D string, upstroke, and then down, up, down on the A string, 4, 3, and open. And then up, down, up on the E string, 4, 3, open. and the 4th fret on the G string, release. So what you want to get to is one way to practice is to make sure you're very not a whole lot of movement on your right hand. So the closer you are to the strings, you can get that. So get that going. But when we switch up, just practice that. So you practice the 3 notes per string, and you do it 6 notes together, sextuplet. Now remember, just what you want to do, try to play single note to see how comfortable you are playing fast on it. Make sure you mute your string with palm. Alright, so that's the important thing. So just make sure you mute the string, slightly mute. And try to get your hand comfortably enough where you can, it's not a whole lot of movement. But you want to pick it slowly first, start slowly. I would do three notes per string first, and just practice 3 notes. And once you get 3 notes, you add the other 3 notes to it. So it goes. You can do it like that. All right. So that's how Nuno plays now. But when I was listening to the recording, it sounds to me the recording plays like this, and I'll show it to you. You can play it either way, it's fine. The recording sounds like this to me. So the recording is like you do 3, 4, 5 on the A string. You start from the upstroke first, and then the rest is the same. So just the first 3 notes is an up, down, up on the 3, 4, 5, and then 4, 3 open on the A string. So down, up, down, and then up, down, up on the E string. But this time, you play the 3, 2 and open instead of 4, 3 open. So it's 3, 2 and open on the E string. Up, down, up. So. So I think that's how the recording goes. But watching Nuno plays, he plays this. I'll show you. That seems to be the correct way right now. It's easier too. But anyway, just your choice, whichever more comfortable to you. If you do the 3, 4, 5 on the A string, then you don't have to cross string, which is easier. But you gotta work that out because this pattern is slightly different. Okay, with the hammer on the 4th fret, you get a little more time to pick up stroke on the D string, and then you finish up the lick. Okay, now the second measure. Here's how to play second measure. It's just like a slightly variation on the first measure. It goes like this. Alright, so what I'm doing here, before you go to the 3rd fret on the A string, you gotta go upward on the open A string. So you gotta start like a 16th note before you play the third fret on the on the A string. So you gotta go upward on the A string, open A, and you go down on the 3rd fret on the A string. And that's when you start hammer on the 4th fret. But instead of playing upstroke on the open D string, now you play upstroke on the G string. So now when you do that, you gotta mute the string, lightly mute the string. And the rest is the same. 4, 3 open on the A string, down, up, down. And then 4, 3 open on the E string, up, down, up. Again, that lands on the 4th fret on the G string, downstroke again. So that second measure goes like this slowly. Okay, let's put the first measure and second measure together slowly. Oh, by the way, once you finish the first measure, you got to play the A chord. Instead of just play the A chord one time, you go down, up, down on the A chord. So I'll show you how to play slowly. You'll see how it goes. So it goes like that. All right, one more time. After that, the next part goes So after you play the second fret of D and G, you go upward, mute, and you play this C2 chord. The C2 chord is the third fret on the A string, and blocking the D string with your index finger. And then you play the G string open, and third fret on the B. So after you go downstroke on the C2 chord, you gotta go up again, you kind of mute, and then D chord twice. The D chord is open D, G2, B3, and the second fret of E string. So that, let me play it for you just slowly one time. It goes like this. Now once you finish playing the D chord, you gotta slide up with your third fret on the B string and slide up the fifth fret. And then once you slide up the fifth fret on the B string, you gotta play the fifth fret on the D string and slide up. Now your ring finger, you don't move. Once you slide up, you continue to slide up. So. Okay. So again, your ring finger keep pressure on your B string. All right. So once you play the D chord, your ring fingers already slide up. You can hear it slide up, and then you play the fifth fret on the D string, and both fingers continue to slide up. And once you slide, you play both strings, the D and G. The D and B, at the 9th fret, and you block in the G string with your middle finger. And you bring it back and slide back down to 7th fret. Again, that's the tricky part right here, is where I use my middle finger playing the 7th fret on the D string, while at the same time I'm blocking the G string because I'm slightly touching the flash, or the bottom of my middle finger is touching the G string slightly. So you don't hear that note is deadened. So you can only hear the 7th fret on the D and the 7th fret on the B string. And down the 5th fret on the D string and B string. And then play the D chord again. Alright, so the whole thing slowly, let me play for you one time. So once you slide the 5th fret, kind of pause a second, mute a little bit, and play the D chord. So next part, you pick on the 3rd fret and 4th fret on the D string, and the 2nd fret on the G string twice, and the 3rd fret again on the D string, and pull off an open D. And you do the same thing again. Now this time you play the 5th fret on the D string, slide up to 7th fret, and then you play 7th fret of D and B string together, just like I showed you before, with your middle finger and ring finger, and slide down to the 5th fret again. Okay, so far the whole lick goes like this. And you go back to the A chord again, and you start the main riff again. Now the second time you play that, after you finish playing that, you go to G chord and D chord. The G chord, what I'm doing is I play the 3rd fret on the E string, index finger blocking the A string, and then you play the open D, open G, 2nd fret on the B string, and then D chord. That's open D string, 2nd fret of G, and 3rd fret on the B. So that's the main riff for the He-Man Woman Hater. So let me play it for you, the entire thing slowly, one time again, and that way you can get a good sound in your head, alright? And I will stop right here for now, and we'll cover the rest in the next lesson. Thanks for watching.